Hi there everybody, it's me again, your friend Dracula's daughter. Come to darken your YouTube viewing yet again, so I hope you're all okay. I hope you enjoyed your Halloween, and I hope that my face didn't scare too many people away from your doorstep and you had loads of sweets left over, and let's hope you ate them, but you didn't get any stomachache from eating all the sweets. But anyways, I hope you're all okay. Thank you for watching, and hope you're recovering from this blooming weather. It's unbelievable. There's floods everywhere down here in Devon. But I'm okay because I'm on the second floor, but still I can't have contents insurance because I'm in a flood risk area, which, gosh, if the flood comes up to my front door, the whole of Devon is doomed, I can tell you, because we're about 6 miles away from the nearest sea, and if it comes down to my comes up to my floor, then basically all of Newton Abbot and surrounding areas are about 40 foot underwater. But anyway, so well, at least 20 foot. So, but what I told them, I'm going to get a dinghy outside on the roof terrace just in case, big enough for me and the babies. But anyway, so like I said, I hope you're all okay. I hope you watched my last video and enjoyed it. And it was a little bit more of a serious thing this time. I'm trying to get this bloody flat sorted out. It's unbelievable. If there's one thing, there's another, and I keep forever. I keep I overthink things, and I mean, in the end, nothing gets done. So, but I have to stop and concentrate on one room, and that one's going to be the hallway. So I've got to redo the hallway floor. I did it last year. I've got to redo it again this year. So I'm going to do this over the next week. And I've started, as you know, I've started my course as well, my thingy course. So I shall be doing that as well. So in between, so busy times ahead. But anyway, so because the winter times as well, it was really handy for that, to keep myself warm. So I did say that I was going to talk about non-binary gender and what it means. That's what I said in the last video. I'm going to do a bit of research into it, and believe you me, the mind boggles or whatever you want to call it, mind boggles about it all these different genders and everything that's going on. And I'm all for individual expressions and everything. And you know, being yourself, but why label it? But that's me personally. That's how I feel. Why label it? I label myself as a tranny because that's what I am. So, but there you go, and that's how society sees me as. So, but anyway, non-binary is a spectrum of gender identities that are not exclusively masculine or feminine. Identities that are outside the gender binary. Gender binary is the masculine and feminine, so that's the gender binary. Sex is what you're born with, assigned with a birth. Are you male or boy or girl? Gender is masculine, feminine, and all that, and in between, everything in between. Non-binary genders can fall under the transgender umbrella, since many non-binary people identify with a gender that is different from their assigned sex. I suppose this says that I might be non-binary, which I don't see myself as. I know that deep down in my DNA, in about 200-300 years time, they'll dig me up and they do a bit of DNA on my bones, and they'll see that I was male. So the hormones I'm taking hasn't changed my DNA at all. So that part doesn't matter, does it? You know. So in the scheme of things, when some dead, I'm dead. I'm just a body, and that's it. But anyway, non-binary people may identify as having two or more genders, being bi-gender or tri-gender. Have no gender, agender, non-gender, genderqueer, genderless, gender-free, or neutra. Neutroise or neutra. I'll say it in the French right there. Moving between genders or having a fluctuating gender identity, gender fluid. Being third gender or other gendered, a category that includes those who do not place a name to their gender. Now, I've never ever met anybody who's agender, non-gendered, or genderless, or do not place a name to their gender. It's like even online, there's that young man from the US. I think he's from. He's had his genitals removed because he identifies as an alien. Is that a gender or sex See, that's the question for you. So non-binary gender is not associated with any specific gender expression, such as androgyny, which basically means you can pass both male and female. Non-binary people as a group have a wide variety of gender expression, and some may reject gender identities altogether. And this is where things get complicated. If that's the case, how are we to know what pronouns to call them? It's like when you go into a shop anywhere these days. Can I help you, sir? Can I help you, madam? Can I help you, love? Can I help you, darling? Can you help me, sweetheart? Or whatever. Or ducks. That's another one. You know, so what do we do? What do we do? Do we wear a badge? Some did at Darkness Pride this year start wearing a badge saying, she, her, or he, him, or they, them, or whatever, you know. So, but are we all going to wear badges so people can call us the right person? Do you know, that doesn't bother me. As long as I get the service that I want, it doesn't matter what they call me. And call me old dragon if they want. I don't care, just as long as I get the product I'm paying for. That's it. In addition to being an umbrella term, genderqueer has been used as an adjective to refer to any people who transgress distinction of gender, regardless of their self-defined gender identity or who queer gender. See, this who queer gender. Right, okay. Individuals may express gender non-normatively, right, by not conforming into the binary gender categories of man and woman. Genderqueer is often used to self-identify by people who challenge binary social constructions of gender. And there's a picture of a person, Annie Raven Haynes, a self-identified queer woman. She's got long hair and a goatee. So there you go. The term has also been applied to those describing what they see as gender ambiguity. Can't read. Honestly, these are my reading glasses, can't read. Androgynous, also androgyne, is frequently used as a descriptive term for people in this category. This is because the term androgyny is closely associated with a blend of socially defined masculine and feminine traits. However, not all genderqueer people identify as androgynous. I don't. Come on, please. With these boobs. Where were we? Some genderqueer people identify as a masculine woman or a feminine man, or combine genderqueer with another gender option. And this, you know, if I myself am mixed up with all this, I can imagine that most of you who watch my videos just, you know, if I don't understand it, well, hey, there you go. Many references use the term transgender to include genderqueer, non-binary people. The Human Rights Campaign Foundation and Gender Spectrum use the term gender expansive to convey a wider, more flexible range of identity and or expression that typically associates with the binary gender system. So, being non-binary, is that a gender or an expression? Let me know down below what you think. Personally, I won't say, but anyway, so agender people, meaning without, also called genderless, gender-free, non-gendered or ungendered, are those who identify as having no gender or being without a gender identity. Right, okay. Although this category includes a broad range of identities which do not conform to traditional gender norms, i.e. male, female, man, woman, scholar Finn Enker states that people who identify with any of these positions may not necessarily self-identify as transgender. Agender people have no specific set of pronouns. Singular they is typically used, but is not the default. Neutre as toi and our agender were 2 of 50 available custom genders on Facebook, which were added on 13th of February 2014. Agender is also available as a gender option on OkCupid since 17th of November 2017. Well, I didn't know that. Well, OkCupid I'm not on anyway. But the Facebook one, I didn't realise that happened. But anyway, so demigender is a gender identity of a person identifying partially or mostly with one gender and at the same time with another. Right, okay. There are several subcategories of the identity. A demi-boy or demi-man, for example, identifies at least partially with being a boy or man, no matter what the sex and gender they were assigned with at birth. pardon me, while other parts of their identity might be assigned to other genders, gender fluid or no other gender, agender. A demiflux person feels that the stable part of their identity is non-binary. Okay. Some constructionist historians and anthropologists have argued that the binary system of gender identity can be traced to the 19th century when sexuality was first medicalised, though others challenge this. Some constructionists argue that people started to identify as gay when biological science grew in influence, churches became less powerful, and social and political structure began to change. George Chauncey, professor of history at Yale University, I'm boring you all now, but hey ho, I'm reading, notes that during the early 20th century, gender roles rather than sexual partners were used to determine sexuality. For instance, feminine men who had sex with other men were labelled as mollies or fairies, whereas masculine men who had sex with other men remained unlabelled, and that still happens sometimes now. We're not called mollies or fairies. Girly, we could be called girly, or the bitch. That's another one, yeah. Historians like David Halperin argue that by the mid-20th century, it became normative for lay people in the US to label individuals as either heterosexual or homosexual, while other historians like John Boswell argue that the concept of the word referred to have existed for centuries. The term genderqueer came into use during the mid-1990s. Right, okay. Ricky Ann Wilchins is often associated with, look at the state of me, honestly, with the word genderqueer, especially because of her contributions to Genderqueer and Voices Beyond the Sexual Binary, which was published in 2002. In 1995, she was also published in the newsletter In Your Face, where she used the term genderqueer. In the newsletter, the term appears to refer to people with complex or unnamed gender expressions, which does not match with the general definition used today. Wilchins has stated she identifies as genderqueer in her 1997 autobiography. Right, okay. Some genderqueer people are medically treated for gender dysphoria with surgery or hormones, as trans men and women are. Oh, okay. That's interesting. I didn't realise that, but there you go. So I might have been genderqueer then beforehand. So, but now I'm a trans woman. So hey, there you go. Jumped from one to the other. But there you go. There you go. That's me for you, jumping all the way. Gender neutrality is the movement to end discrimination of gender altogether in society through means of gender-neutral language, the end of sex segregation and other means, which is a good thing because. Even in today's society, lots of women, or as society sees them as women, females, are subjugated and not allowed to do certain things because of their sex, not because of their gender, but because of their sex, and which I think is wrong, especially 2019. That shouldn't be happening, but it still does. Some by choice, do it by choice. Others do it through being bullied and through what they call religious on religious grounds, which I think is so wrong. But hey ho, who am I to question somebody else's religious beliefs? But subjugating anyone, regardless of gender, sex, sexuality. Anything like that is just totally wrong in my eyes, and we should treat each individual on their own merits, regardless. We should be comfortable in our own skin to be able to turn around and ask an individual how they would like to be addressed. It's like me, myself, call me she, her, call me it, whatever. I don't care. Like I said, I've said before, oh, dog is out there, bless them, fighting. Not mine, my two are here. Zena's there, she's hiding behind Simba. Simba's in the window. But anyway, so, yeah, as I was saying, I don't care what they call me, as long as they don't call me after midnight. And as long as I don't get physically hurt, because at the end of the day, I think of it as their own stupidity and their ignorance if they want to laughingly call me, oh, look at it. It. Have you ever watched the movie It with the clown? That can be me, babies. Believe you me, I can stand there with a balloon and Come down here and play. Would you like to play? Do you like circus? Do you like clowns? Come down here. It's very nice and warm down here. Exactly. So call me it. I'll start acting like one. I can tell you that. But anyway, but that's people voice. Some people do it because A, they don't want to understand, and B, they can't be bothered. But hey ho, that's their lookout. It's like I've said before, my family don't want nothing to do with me, and that's their lookout because I personally think that I could have enriched their lives a little bit more than their narrow-mindedness, and but because of that, I can't, and they think I'm disgusting. Especially my mother, well, the woman that gave birth to me, think that I'm a disgrace, blah blah blah, and she's ashamed to have me as her child, blah blah blah, and all that palaver, which she was ashamed of me anyway beforehand. So what's new there, you know? So like I said to her before, she asked me if I was gay, no, but why? She said, I don't like gay people, and well, you don't like me anyway. So what's the difference? So hey, what's the difference in gay or not? But anyway, so yes, so being gender neutral and non-binary is just, you know, it boggles the mind. Just be you. Why label yourself? We hate society labeling us, but yet we label ourselves, which I think is just totally wrong. I just appreciate who I am, and I appreciate the society sees me totally different from what I see myself. Well, no. I think I should rephrase that. Society sees me as I see myself, which is the tranny, basically, TWAF. TWAF. I will not tell you what that means because there will be an uproar, but it's been copyrighted, so you can't use it. All right. So yes, I've copyrighted it. So there you go. I think there's only one person that knows what it means. Two people, I think, maybe. The third person who will know is somebody that will start printing the stuff for me and everything. I'm going to start doing merchandise and everything, and that's going to be my label, TWAF. Yes. So right, pronouns and titles. Now this is where things get really, really mixed up for me personally. Some non-binary and genderqueer people prefer to use gender-neutral pronouns. Usage of singular, they, their, and them is the most common. Like Sam Smith at the moment, so coming out as non-binary, so they can wear a dress and heels. That's how I saw it. It's the fact that. And I'm calling Sam Smith they because that's how they want to be referred as. So I respect that. So, but personally, it was really weird. Like 1 minute they were there, so dressed nicely. They came out as being gay, which was nice. I had a relationship for a couple of years with an American guy, but that didn't work out because of work commitments and everything on both sides. And then they came out as being non-binary. Oh gosh, I can't do that because my weight might break the door. As non-binary, and then literally within 2 days they were out in it was gorgeous actually. It's like I wish I could have it. It's like, with a nice little lounge suit, I would call it, like a silk lounge suit and a pair of heels and a bit of lippy. Okay, fine. So you didn't have to come out as being non-binary in order to do that, or genderqueer or whatever, in order to do that, because you're an artist, and as an artist, one can wear what one wants. Well, one can wear what one wants anyway, you know. So there was a guy who used to walk around here with a beard, and he used to walk around with a long skirt on and long dresses on. Haven't seen him for years, and they thought it was me at first. And they thought, "Oh, you've changed a lot." But no, I have changed a lot. But there you go. But you know, to express, it's like I used to see makeup as an art, a form of art, an art expression. It's like decades ago, when I was very, very young, 1914, 1918, I used to wear my makeup, so it just looked absolutely gorgeous, and it was like, my face was an artist's palette, and I personally thought I looked good, but hey, I was the only one. But anyway, so is the most common, and Z, Psi, Hir, Co, and A are used as well. Some others, oh, pardon me, prefer the conventional gender-specific pronouns her or him, prefer to be referred to alternatively as he or she, or prefer to use only their name and not use pronouns at all. Many prefer additional neutral language, such as the title MX instead of Mr. or Ms. Now, you see, I thought MX meant mistress. There you go. But there you go. There you go. I didn't know that. Legal recognition. People, non-binary genderqueer people still use the gender they were given at birth to conduct everyday business because many areas of life still conduct business with binary genders. Things are changing though, as most businesses are becoming more accepting of non-binary genders. Multiple countries legally recognise non-binary or third gender classifications. Some non-Western societies have long recognised transgender people as a third gender, which though this may not, or may only recently, include formal legal recognition. In Western societies, Australia may have been the first country to legally recognise third classification, following recognition of Alex McFarlane's as having indeterminate sex, reported in 2003. There's loads of flags. It's another thing as well. Trans people in some American Indian and Canadian Indian tribes, they didn't have all this gay and lesbian and everything like that. It was they had three genders. It was like male, female, and the third gender was basically had both sexes, male and female. Like I suppose they would have seen me, and they called them as two spirits. And they saw that as the gateway between Earth and the heavens and the gods. Basically, that's how they saw it. So two spirits. Just so I can see what this is. What it says about two spirits. Two spirits. Oh, hold on, Wikipedia. Also, two spirits, or occasionally two-spirited, is a modern pan-Indian umbrella term used by some indigenous North Americans to describe native people in their communities who fulfill a traditional third gender or other gender variant ceremonial role in their culture. Now, I have mentioned this before. There was an American Indian that was introduced to Queen Victoria, was assigned male at birth, but wore a female squaw clothing, and even when they went and met Queen Victoria, they wore a squaw's outfit, even though they weren't assigned female at birth. So it's been going on for generations. I feel really has. Thank you. It has been going for generations and eons and everything, and the fact that now we're labelling it, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I really don't know, because people, is it ignorance? Is it ignorance? Now just carrying on with their lives, not even thinking about stuff about people's genders and sexuality and everything. Personally, I don't think it's ignorance. I think it's just living your life the way you want to, really, and but at the same time we should respect everybody, and that's it. And I do feel that some people who identify themselves away from the norm, the binary norm, should appreciate that a lot of people don't understand, and that they do need, and I keep saying this about teaching and educating people, instead of screaming and shouting, how dare you call me that, how dare you mispronoun me, how dare you misgender me. But if you portray yourself, like with me at the moment, I look, people say, oh, you look really girly too, you look really female. Okay, fine, now that's lovely. And I don't think I do. Sometimes I do when I've got my makeup on, and sometimes sometimes I look like a drag queen going on stage. But mostly people are nice about it, and they do call me she and her, which is which is the way they see me in society. But if I just wore like a big cape from head to toe and they couldn't see anything whatever, you know, and I had no hair, no eyebrows, well, I've got no eyebrows anyway, and no makeup on, they won't know who to call me. Right? They don't know my name unless I tell them. It's what do they call me? Do they call me madam? Do they call me sir? And that's where we need to calm down with all the screaming and shouting and everything. It's like to educate people and to say, no, you've got it wrong. I know this is how I seem to you. I see where you're coming from. I see that you see me as a female or as a male, but I'm not. And this is where we should sit down and teach people. You know, instead of using pronouns, whatever, instead of using labels or whatever, just oh, hi, how can I help you? Have a nice day, kind of thing. You know, instead of saying sir, madam, blah blah blah, and whatever. Why bother with labels? And you know, we're all going to get mixed up anyway. So it's just thinking, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? But are we just going to get robots to serve us and to address us and everything, and then take it from there? I just don't know. I really don't know. It's a minefield. It really is a huge minefield, and I should be all up on this. This is what I've been told several times. That like, oh, but you should know about all this, Tony, because you're trans. You know, and it's down to you to realise that you can't be misgendered if the misgender youths jump down their throats and everything. But hey, I don't understand any of this, and through my research and sharing it online with you lot, hopefully I'll be educating myself as well as you. So and that 5 o'clock, and that, yes it is, and that is I'm educating myself, and which I think is how it should be. It's like I said in my last video about that guy saying, oh, I identify myself as a 99-year-old man, and I said, as long as you dress like a 99-year-old man, as long as you act that you have all the aches and pains like of a 99-year-old man, and you're in the care home and everything, then what is wrong with that? You can't turn down and say, oh, I identify myself as a 99-year-old man, and then look like a 20-year-old and act like a 20-year-old, because you're not living up to your identity, are you? I suppose. I don't know. I really don't know. See, it's such a learning curve for all of us. It really is. And but that's the way I spoke to him and said, look, you know, if that's who you identify with, then that's how you should react and act out in public. It doesn't matter how you are indoors on your own or with your significant other or others. I see, that's another thing I just don't understand. You know, if somebody in a relationship with 2 or more people, a polygamous relationship, I just don't understand that at all. If you love somebody, love them. You see, with me, I'm very old-fashioned in the sex department. It's like if I go to bed with somebody, that's it, and I'm having a relationship with somebody, I sleep with them, I give them my all. I can't share myself with loads of people. Never been able to do that, and never will be, never have been, never will be, and that's another thing I just don't understand. And I know you can love more than one person at a time, but sleeping with them, personally, I couldn't. I really couldn't, because loving somebody and actually sleeping with them is 2 totally different things. There's one guy that I actually adore and I've adored for years, and I will be in love with him till the day I die, and he knows it, I think. But anyway, you know, but I know that I want to sleep with him, and so it's okay for me to find, which if anyone just turn up on my doorstep, which I doubt it, not anymore, I'm 55 for goodness sakes, that will have a relationship with me. I'll still love them, and I'll sleep with them, but I'll still love the other guy, but I'll never sleep with him. So my love for him will always be there, and I can't just stop that. But by sleeping with him, I couldn't sleep with anybody else, vice versa. So You know, if I have a relationship with someone else, I want people to sleep with him. If it ever happens, I doubt it anyway, because we're too far away from each other. So, but there you go. Anyway, so that's me digressing and being maudling and everything. Anyway, so hope you enjoyed the video. Me whittling on and waffling on about this, that, and the other. I've got to go because I'm going to make myself some tea. I've got this thing about sugar-free jelly at the moment, heartless sugar-free jelly. It's like powder, and you add it, you know, do it like normal jelly. Oh, do you know, you can't taste the difference at all. I'll have that with double cream later for my tea, I think. Yeah, before that, mushrooms, stuffed mushrooms, I think, before that. But anyway, so thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Please share, and if you think one person, even if they just want to have a giggle for 2 minutes and forget their worries for about 2 seconds or 2 minutes or even half an hour by watching my videos, by all means, share with them, because I like people having a smile, I like, you know, the fact that somebody's forgotten about their worries just for 2 minutes because of my videos. I think that's really good, regardless if they're taking piss out of me or not. It doesn't matter, because I'm in the public forum. And I expect that. So anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Please share. Bye. Have I turned myself off? No, do you know, I haven't turned myself off. Bye.